time from Series 19 of the DC Universe Classics, we're taking a look at Magog. Magog has an interesting backstory in that he's a character that was created for an alternate timeline and eventually reappeared in the regular DC universe. So to me, they're really two separate characters. This one being the character that appeared in JSA and JSA All-Stars, and he is influenced by the original Magog creation that appeared in Kingdom Come in the first issue of that miniseries. By the way, excellent miniseries, great story, and but I can't talk about this character without first talking a little bit about the Magog from Kingdom Come. Now, Kingdom Come, of course, is kind of a dystopian future where most of the DC heroes have either retired, and a second generation of more combative and, let's say, not as morally upright, I guess, heroes have surfaced. And they've become little more than basically roving gangs that beat each other up, beat criminals up, and sometimes even regular people. So, and that's the problem that future is faced with. And the linchpin of this sort of rebellious new movement is Magog. And he does several key things. He murders the Joker when he has killed Lois Lane and most of the people at the Daily Planet, and Superman refuses to kill him. Magog just hauls off and obliterates him. It was sort of meta commentary on all the worst things that the creators Mark Waid and Alex Ross hated about the heroes that were of the 90s, that were of that kind of attitude. He steals a lot from Cable with the metallic arms, the pouches, boots, and guns, and the bandolier. And he's also kind of got a biblical reference to him. Of course, the armor is gold instead of silver, like Cable's. But he's got this ram's head helmet with the horns there that's supposed to represent the golden calf and the false idol that people have rallied behind, and whereas the superheroes represent the true embodiment of, I guess, what humanity is supposed to aspire to. So, more on this version of Magog later on. I must say that this really feels very cheap to me. And don't get me wrong, it's a nice sculpt. I do like all the details in the costume, the pouches, the belt here, all the details on his armor. Very nicely painted, very nicely sculpted. Look at the face there. It's all very well done, but he seems a lot lighter than most of the other DC Universe Classics figures. He feels very hollow, especially in the chest area. So it gets that sort of like there's nothing there to him. Maybe it's just me. So, it just doesn't seem to weigh as much as some of the other DC Universe Classics characters. Or figures, sorry. And getting on to his accessories, he comes with this nice golden staff, and it's actually, it is quite flexible but rigid at the same time, if I can be very contradictory. It's a nice medium, flexible enough, but yet solid stuff to remain straight. You got some nice little details with different colored buttons. It's a nice accessory. And you'd think he would have one other accessory, the gun, but you'd be wrong, because that is sculpted on to the holster, which really puzzles me, because they've done holsters like this before with guns that can be removed. And why they decided to do this, I don't know. Maybe it was just a cost-saving measure, because the gold paint, maybe that would cost a little bit more. That's another thing that really makes me think like this is a cheapened figure. For articulation, he's got pretty much the standard for the DC Universe Classics line. Head goes up and down slightly, left and right. His arm goes up, but this little bandolier gets in the way, so you're going to have to pull the arm out to do a full rotation. These little pieces here on the fringe are soft and rubbery, so they will get out of the way, but there's still enough of this solid piece here to hinder his articulation there. But his arms do go out and in. They rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and rotate at the wrist. He does have ab articulation, forward and back. Waist articulation is there, but is very tight. Legs go forward, back, out to the side. They rotate here underneath the little pouch belts here. Done very nicely. I really like how they incorporated that into the sculpt of the figure. He bends at the knee and bends at the ankle. Very loose ankle right here. It's actually pretty hard for me to stand. Pretty hard for him to stand sometimes. He first appears in JSA Volume 3, number 12, and that's as Lance Corporal David Reid, who happens to be the great-grandson of FDR. Now, I don't know if there is a real Lance Corporal David Reid, the great-grandson of FDR, but he is the DC Universe relative of FDR, and he's actually a Marine who was guarding the National Museum of Iraq during the war, preventing looters from taking all the art pieces in the museum. In foiling looters from collecting this piece of some tablet or something dedicated to this old god named Magog. He is filled with energy, and this mark forms on his arm, and And actually, they create this device. The government creates this device for him to project the energy into blasts. And he is nicknamed Lance, or the Lance, because of his rank, Lance Corporal. And he's basically out in Iraq and in Afghanistan fighting alongside the troops using his powers. And the JSA finds him because they're looking up all these legacy heroes that are being hunted down. He's kind of transferred into the JSA somehow. He's with them for several adventures until he meets the third world god, or old god, that he first got his powers from, and that is Gog. And unfortunately, he is killed while providing cover, basically, for some civilians that were being taken advantage of by these rebel troops, and he sacrifices himself to get the villagers and other JSA teammates out of the line of fire. And Gog resurrects Reid as Magog. What he wants is Gog is going to offer the world a new age of peace, but with him in control, and he's going to link himself to the planet, the actual planet of Earth, and the only thing that he requires from people is complete worship. Eventually, he does turn on Gog, and the JSA defeats Gog. His attitude and his military upbringing sort of bring him to loggerheads with the old school of the JSA, and he sort of splits off, becoming the leader, or the field leader at least, co-leader, alongside, I think, Power Girl, of a younger, more proactive team that's going to hunt down criminals. Always a bad idea. And to be honest, I much preferred the character as Lance Corporal David Reid than as Magog. So anyway, Maxwell Lord was resurrected during Brightest Day, and his little assignment from the entity of life was to prevent a Kingdom Come-like future from happening, where Magog attacks Captain Atom, destroying a whole bunch of the countryside, and Magog eventually remembers Max Lord when he's confronting Captain Atom, and Max forces him to kill himself, making everyone else believe that the Captain Atom killed him. However, Max later copped to the whole thing and cleared Captain Atom just before Flashpoint happened, and we got the reset button for the DC Universe. So I guess that'll be it for Magog, and stay tuned for more reviews from the other figures in this wave, and until my next video, I'll see you.